Hi, Soul Fam. Sending you so much love. I've been thinking about a lot today. You know what? I want everyone to feel this love that I feel. I want everyone to have that. Because if everyone had that truly, and everyone can have that, this is the point. There would be no, if you truly felt it like I felt it, there would be no war, there would be no hatred, because you just be so in awe of that feeling that everything else dissipates. All pain, all trauma, old or current, would just not exist. And that is there for each and everyone. It really is. So I just want everyone to feel it. I want everyone to know it. I want them to know how when they tune into themselves and stop listening to the white noise of life, of nonsense on TV, and just tune into what you've already got, truly, and just cut out everything else. You'll feel it, you'll know it, you'll hear it, you'll see it, you'll see the signs that are just meant for you, because they're just meant for you. And the ideas and the inspiration that comes just for you specifically, you'll know that you are just loved infinitely, unconditionally, and that you have your own path, and that you are a leader. You're not a follower, you're a leader. All of these other things stop that, so that they stop the ability to connect to that. When you just get rid of everything and truly just get quiet and erase the noise, the other people, and they're still your friends, and they're not going to not be your friends, but at the same time doesn't necessarily mean that they're acting in your best interest. They might just be acting in their self-interest. So when you just cut everything out, including things that you might consider like your favorite, junk food. I like, trust me, this is hard. It is hard. It is so hard. Like, I'm sat here on a Friday on my Todd. It's 20 past 1. And I'm just chilling. I've just been like reading up on information, just like meditating. That's cool for me. Like, don't get me wrong, I'd like to. I'm a raver. I'm a raver and misbehaviour at heart. I am. But I've just chosen. I've made a choice. I made a choice a year ago, a year longer than that. I made a choice to put me first for once in my life. Because all I ever cared about, because of a snowball of effective things in my life stemming from something that happened to me when I was 9, I just put everyone else first. I put everyone else's feelings first. I was so desperate to be loved by everybody, but had just totally not even thought about loving myself. And it just snowballed into this like chaos. Absolute chaos. So don't get me wrong, I had a laugh along the way, but it was absolute fucking chaos. And it's hard to be truthful to yourself. It's hard to look in the mirror and go, you know what, I fucked up here. It's hard to do that. It is hard to be honest with yourself. It is. It's hard to go, you know what, I'm unhappy and it's no one else's fault but my own. And only I can fix it. And the only way to fix it is to change my behaviour and to change what I do, what I think, what I watch, what I consume, who I surround myself with, like all of these things. So I just went like, no, I'm just going to cut out straight. I'm just going to cut all of it. Just take it all away. So I've literally nothing to hide behind. I've no, nothing. And it's hard. It is hard. But it is worth it. It is worth it. Because it just made me face, as I said, I've said this many times, it's just a repeat really of many other videos that I've done, but it just really made me face myself, my demons, like go way back when, all these things that I just things that had happened, and I basically just put them into a box and put them away, and thought that was the best way to deal with them, and that is absolutely not the best way to deal with them, because you're not dealing with them at all, are you? You're just pretending that they didn't happen and like just go, oh, I just. But unfortunately, the brain, it keeps them there, and that is just constantly just going away in your subconscious mind all the time. And so yeah, I just had to go through them one by one. I had to just deal with them. I had to just go, just be like, you know what, that happened, and it wasn't my fault. I didn't know what was happening. It wasn't my fault. And also, the person that's doing these things, you have to also remember her. They too are expressing pent-up trauma that they have experienced in their lives. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It isn't. But that is what is happening. You know what I'm saying? So, you think about narcissists. Why are they the way that they are? Well, it's because something has happened to them in their life, in their childhood. Many things probably that they don't know how to deal with because nobody's taught them either. And the way then that they treat you, they don't know no different. And that's just, I mean, some people do it intentionally, don't get me wrong, but a lot of people, that is just the way they've been brought up. They don't know any different. They don't know how to love. They don't know how to show love or to receive love. And they themselves, just as we are, on the other end, are fundamentally dealing or not dealing with traumas that we've all experienced in our lifetimes. And the not dealing of it is what has made us that way. And this is why it's so important for us to teach our children different. It's so important for us to teach each other. It's so important for us to speak honestly and openly about the things that we've experienced, and not in an aggressive way, not in a judgmental way, but in a, you know what, we're all fucked up. We're all fucked up. And also go, like, as I say, is it their fault? No, because they're fucked up from their you know, because I was thinking that, like, how my brothers are not there for me, right? And my brother's over here at the moment because I told you my brother's wife's dad passed away from cancer, so they're all over here from America, from Atlanta. So they've been here for 2 weeks, and they're coming up to see us on Monday. I've been feeling really anxious about it because they have never been there for me, never. And they know about what happened. You know, they know about my ex and what happened with my ex, because I used to send them periodic emails to say, like, please help me. Like, he's gonna kill me. And they just thought I was mad. And I even had to borrow money off them to pay for loans. I had to get loans off my brothers to pay for stuff to cover him. And I even knew I had a house. And the thing is, what happened, it's just crazy. It's crazy how it happens, because When I was 16, I've told this story before, I'll tell it again. But when I was 16, I knew this girl and I was at her house. And her dad was loaded and her mum, yeah, he beat her up all the time. And we'd gone out night clubbing one night and we came back. This was I was 16, so underage. And we came back and all her kitchen furniture was smashed outside. And we were drunk and we were like, shit, we didn't lock the door. They're going to go fucking crazy. Anyway, so we walked in and her dad was in the kitchen. And to be fair, at that point, he was the only man that I'd ever felt truly scared of. And it was because of this night. And he was in the kitchen and it was completely empty. All the kitchen furniture was outside smashed. And he had his head down and he just looked at us and went, get the fuck upstairs, like that. Me and my mate ran upstairs and we were obviously drunk. And I went to they lived in this huge house. Went to the bathroom. I could hear crying in there, and I was drunk, so I couldn't really understand. I was like, "Why is this?" Why can't I get in the bathroom? Like, what? So I came back to my mate and I said, "Somebody's in." I was like, "Am I hearing things? Someone's in the bathroom crying. I can't get in." So she went and checked, and it was her mum in there. And her mum comes in. She's like, looks like Carrie. If you haven't seen the film Carrie, just Google it. Look at the main picture. And her first words when she came in the room was, "He loves me. He doesn't mean it." And my friend, we were 16, as I say, she was drunk. She ran downstairs, grabbed a kitchen knife, and ran at her dad. And he managed to take that knife out of her hand in like a fucking heartbeat, put her head into a headlock and ran with her head in a headlock like that into a solid oak front door. And I was watching from the banister looking down. It like ran at full speed. Her head into that door. And she dropped to the ground like a lead weight. Like I thought she was dead. I genuinely thought she was dead. And then he literally just dropped her and then started stomping up the stairs. I was like, oh my God, he's coming to kill me because I've seen what he's done to his daughter. So I literally ran into my friend's bedroom. I ran under the bed. Like, I was like cowering under there. And he stormed into the next room and slammed the door. And then there was about 20 minutes of silence, like deadly silence. And my friend obviously came to. She'd just been knocked unconscious. Came upstairs. And she looked like Elephant Man. She even said she looked like Elephant Man. It wasn't that. Those are not my words. Those are just actual facts. Like her head was like that. Like it immediately like swelled up and bruised like that. And she was saying, "I'm going to phone the police." And her mum was begging her not to. Her mum was saying, "He doesn't mean he loves you." And we were up all night, and this went on all night, and her mum was just begging her not to phone the police and da 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 da. And eventually her mum went to bed, and me and my mate looked at each other and we were like, we will never be like that. Right? We will never be like that. We will never accept that. We will never get into a relationship like that. Yeah? And here's what happens. You fall in love with somebody. What I realise, because I'm a very honest person, but like, don't get me wrong, I have told lies. Don't you know what I mean? I'm no angel by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not. But I've been through enough that honesty is the only way. Yeah, secrets and lies are just poison. They're poison to everyone everywhere. And it's not just you, it's not just the other person. It spreads everywhere. And it's just a waste of fucking time, and it hurts everyone. Right? So when I was my ex, who's abusive, I was like, first thing I said to him, which was also essentially my downfall, looking in retrospect, everything's great in hindsight, isn't it? Was that I said to him on the day that I met him, everything that had happened with my previous ex and why I was like, honesty and all of that is the most important to me. And he just, having him just got out of prison for beating up a woman, let's not forget that, GBH, he was like, he must have looked at me like, oh my days, what a sucker. You know what I'm saying? Because I'd just given him on a plate all of my vulnerability, and they just used it against me from that point on. And you don't want to think like that, but unfortunately that's exactly what happened. And you know what, even now it's this realization, you know what, it's not even his fault. And that's going to sound really weird. He did some fucking awful things, yeah. Even still. He don't know how to be a man because he did not have a gentleman around. He did not have a dad around. And that's the truth. And a lot of the men that are around him in his family also didn't have dads around. So they don't know how to treat a woman. So, you know, he's dealing with trauma and he's just dealing with it in a completely different way to the way I'm dealing with it. And neither of us are right. You know what I mean? And it just escalated. And that's how it escalates for anyone anywhere. Because when you have something traumatic happen to you as a child, and nobody's taught you how to deal with your emotions or talk about your emotions, and you maybe don't have both parents or whatever, you haven't got that sort of balanced understanding or knowing or how to deal with it, and then you bottle it, and then guess what? It explodes. And it explodes in whatever way it explodes. And it's not right, but it's also not necessarily that, you know, they're not doing it intentionally, they just don't know any different. And this is why it's so important. Family is so important. And it's not just about having an extended family, like, oh, it's all right if they don't have a dad, we've got an extended family. It's not the same. It's not the same as having both parents. It's not the same. It's why it's so important to have both influences, whatever, you know, whatever happens in a relationship, that should really not even matter when it comes to kids. It really should be that the kids are the most important, and that they know and then they feel loved and have the opportunity to have that time with both parents at all times. Because if you don't have that influence of a dad or an influence of a mum, and it's missing in your life, it can have lifelong effects on you as a person and how you treat the opposite sex or same sex. It can literally, it can. I've seen it. Well, I'm dealing with two men that didn't have dads, and their behaviour is quite clearly a direct result of that. And as much as what they've done is wrong, you know, I'm big enough to just go, you know what, they've had hard lives too. It's not about me, and actually it's not about any of us. It's really about the kids. So I'm in no way accepting their behaviour, not at all. But I also understand that they've had a harsh journey, which is 100% impacted who they are as people and why they react the way that they do. So yeah, that was just my thoughts on that. And the other thing I was just thinking as well is this whole thing about, you know, gender equality. Yeah. Like, I love everybody. I love everybody. I want everyone to feel that love. I want everyone to feel the love that I feel from the universe. And I can only describe it to you and give you the directions and hope that you can feel it too. But here's the thing. If it was, you know, like all these misogynistic guys, yeah, aka most men through history that are in any positions of power, they need to just stop for a hot minute and remember they would not exist if it was not for a woman. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if the world was just men, you would have died off a long time ago. First generation. If it was all guys, all macho, if it was all guys and no women, you would have just died off. Because women are the creators of life. Every man is born of a woman. So you need to remember that. You need to and like, don't get me wrong, a lot of men do. I'm just talking about the ones that treat women differently, that treat women as underlings, that treat women as second-class citizens. And this is across the board in every industry, in every country. They need to just stop for a hot fucking minute and remember that they would not exist if it was not for a woman. End of. And it's not to say in any stretch, I'm not saying that women are better in any way. I'm saying women are at least equal. And that is the fucking point. How can we be in 2021 and this still be a case that we have to fight? We should not have to fight this. Not only do we give birth, we get up and we get back to work. Yeah? Not some women just want to stay at home. Cool. High five to you. Other women want to get up and lead the fucking world. Other women, that woman in New Zealand, yeah, she gave birth and she was like next day she was in Parliament breastfeeding whilst giving a speech. High five, round of applause. Like, serious. Every single man that exists today was born of a woman. Remember that. Remember. And you want to sit there and try and treat women like they aren't equals? Please? Doesn't matter where you are. Doesn't matter what country. It doesn't matter what religion you're in. Can you just remember that, please? You would not exist if it was not for a woman. And that is why you should be treated at least equals. Pay should be equal. It shouldn't be a question. We shouldn't be having to fight for it. We should not. Oh, thanks, Marcus. Totally. Listen, do you know what I actually on Bloomberg, so they know I love them. Just sending out some hearts again every day. Listen, when it gets to weekend, I feel like a little bit lost, like a lost sheep, because I don't have my Bloomberg crew dem. Because I love them to pieces. Anyway, side note. Where was I going? Women. We shouldn't be here. We should not be here. How long has humanity existed? And women are the only ones that keep humanity fucking going. And we're having to fight for equal pay? Shut your face. Stop it. Stop it now. Come. It's enough. You can't even argue this point no more. You can't even try. Yeah? Change come. Change come. Listen. It's enough. It's enough. Can't even go there. Yeah, it's a joke. It is a joke that it is this way. It's a joke that we do not have diversity. It is a joke that women are not paid the same as men for the same fucking job. It is a joke. I was watching this thing about how over COVID, women have been the ones that have lost their jobs over men. Even though, also statistically speaking, women are the ones that actually have more drive and motivation and ambition than men on the same basis on a survey, but they're the ones that are losing their jobs. Are you fucking crazy? No. Every business, everywhere in the world needs to just stop, take a time out, take a hot time out and go, do you know what? We got it wrong. We got it wrong. We've got it wrong. And that's okay, because we're acknowledging our wrongness. We don't need to make a big hoo-ha about it. Everyone knows that we're wrong. We do, they do. We're just going to make the changes that need to be made to make it right, which is ensuring that there is an equal number of men and women in all levels, in every company, that there is an equal number of all ethnicities, sexualities. We should be empowering people of every level in society and encouraging them to achieve their dreams. Encouraging, you know how like competition, unless you're in sport, like competition, at least over here, it's like everyone's a winner and there's no real competition drive. Competition should be a good thing. Competition shouldn't be, you know how like in football, and people really hate the other side, and it's like, why? Competition should be a good thing. Competition should be instilled in us. It should be instilled in us and instilled in us in such a way that it's whatever the competition is, whatever the drive is, you know, whenever you reach that finish line, that first finish line, because it's never a finish line, it's always a journey. Whatever that initial one is, you're like, oh man, you know what? Hats off to you. You won. You won that one, but I'm going to win the next one. And it inspires everyone everywhere to work harder, to strive for better, to imagine better, to envision better, to create more, to design faster, better, stronger. And it's not oh, I hate you because you did. It's because, wow, you got there first. I fucking love that. I love high five. You got there first. You know what? Next time, that's inspired me to be first next time. We should be giving each other high fives, pats on the back, embracing each other's genius, embracing each other's powers, you know, those strengths, those things that make us better. And then doing better makes us all better, because when you have a race and it's a competitive nature within us all, but it's not a, oh, I hate you because you got there first. It's a, you know what, you getting there has made us all better. And the next, whatever we move that line to, whatever the next challenge is, we're all going to go there with everything we fucking got, and let's all, you know, who's going to win the next one? That's the kind of attitude we should have. Not like, oh, because you got there first, I hate you. That's just so childish. It's so playground. It's embarrassing. Like, we should be embracing each other's talents and high-fiving each other. And those are the things we should be focusing on, not everyone, right? Like, you know, there's no point in pussyfooting around it. Everyone has fucked up. Everyone has, and it's okay, because guess what? That's human nature. To err is human, to forgive is divine. So just let it go. Embrace it. Just concentrate on the things that we can do. Focus on the things that we are good at. Embrace each other. Embrace each other's genius, you know, and focus on congratulating each other on the things that we do well, rather than focusing on all the shit stuff, yes, that we all still do. But you know what? We spent less time focusing on the shit stuff and more time focusing on all the excellent stuff that everyone does actually do still. We'd get there quicker. We'd love each other more. We'd unite faster. And the only thing that does that is mainstream media. Mainstream media is what divides us. And you know, I'm thinking now, Murdoch must be a really bitter, selfish old man. Because and I'm gonna go further than that. Because he just hates on everyone everywhere through every strand of his spidey web. And I shared this thing about David Icke the other day, and that man there, yeah, oh, nothing but love for that man. And I'll tell you why. He has spent the last 30 years, and he's only studied one subject, much like a professor or a lecturer at university. He knows the subject that he's talking about inside out, backwards, in every language. He knows. Yeah? And people called him crazy, called him every name under the sun, and he has continued like a fucking warrior. Right? Because he's talking the truth. And, you know, essentially all he is saying is that the world is run by a few families, few select people, which it is. This is not a conspiracy. It is actual fact. The cray cray. And when you're saying it's a cult, and it is a cult, because here's the thing. When you look back through history to the creation of universe, right, just think about it. Education was only ever for the wealthy, right? Throughout history. First thing. Second thing. Universities have existed since 1200, right? It was, you know, the institution of a university, right? Education was only ever for wealthy people. And then when they started universities, that was only ever for wealthy people. Doesn't matter where you are. Wealthy people only could go to university. So knowledge is power, wealth is power, and all of that is connected throughout history, right? And if you think about universities starting in like 1200, right? What was prevalent in those days and from before, as going far as back as Solomon? Witchcraft, magic, right? What has also been prevalent? Secret societies in general within universities. And secret societies are, for example, Freemasonry and the Golden Dawn, whatever it is, you know, Alistair Crowley, right? Crowley. So those are just the ones that you know about. So you've got this kind of combination of knowledge only being for the wealthy, keeping it within themselves. Then what they would do is they would have universities, and they would only rich people could go. And then as prosperity grew, then they obviously wanted to be selective. So then they'd create their societies and secret societies. And these societies were created over time from a point of time where magic and ritual and knowledge of spirituality and the connecting to the divine, right? That's when they were created. Those are when those societies created to keep that knowledge, influence, power, money within itself. So no one else can have it. Right? And then over the time, as more people went and whatever, then what happened was then you create, not only have this society, you have the originals, they're the top of the pyramid, and then they would create various levels of initiation within that society. And these are actual facts that you could search, because when you look at any university that has been around for a long time, of which there are many. In fact, the university in Morocco is the oldest university that exists. And what they do is, there was the originals at the top of the pyramid, and as more and more people would be joining, as prosperity grew, they increased the levels of initiation. So you got at the top the most powerful, the most influential, the richest, with the most knowledge, the most connected to the divine and all that is, and to secret knowledge and to secret rituals and all of that. And every level below that has something slightly less. And so Freemasonry, there are, I think it's at least 15 levels, right? So when you join Freemasonry, obviously it's a secret society, although everyone knows the name of it. You don't really know what goes on with it. And even the programs that you've seen will not really. And I know that for a fact just because my dad was there. So you get initiated, you have to do certain secret rituals. And then when you're in that first that base level, you're going to be connected with people of the same level of influence and power and whatever, right? But you keep it within that group. That's the point. You don't share it with anyone else. So any success, any deals, any whatever, it's all shared within that group, within that level of that society. And then as you progress, then you have a new oath, a new ritual. As you succeed, whatever, and then you get connected to the next level, who are even more powerful and richer and have, right? And so on and so on and so on and so on. And that's how they keep it all, that's how they keep everything within their society, within that cult, as it is. That is a cult. It's essentially a cult. And not only that, so you've got all of these cults, because there's many of them, because a secret society is a cult. And they've existed for hundreds of years. And it's all quid pro quo within that cult, my mate this, my mate that, share. But also, they also keep the secrets. All the things that they do. My mum said this to me. I can't believe I'm going to tell you this, but I'm going to tell you. I only knew this after my dad died. There was always something a little bit scary about my dad. Like, scary. He'd only have to look at you and you'd be scared. But he was also the most charismatic man, and it's really hard to describe. Oh no, I can't. Maybe this is a story for another day. Anyway, the point is that they have always been here. They have always existed. This is not just a made-up fact. This is not a conspiracy. It has always been. It takes 2 seconds to search it. Look at every single person that is in power right now. Every single person in every single country that is in a position of power or a monarchy, they have all gone to the same fucking schools. They've gone to the same schools, and they've gone to the same universities, and they are in the same societies. With the same rituals, the same oaths, the same levels of power and money and influence, and they're keeping it within themselves, quid pro quo, and that is the way it has been and is still right now. That is just, it's not a theory, it is a provable, actual fact. And you know what's going on right now with them not. I was watching this woman earlier. Let me see who this is. Marsha Blackburn. It's a Republican, actually. Republican. She is working on a bipartisan group to take tech down for their censorship. And not just their censorship of COVID in respect to lab leaks, but more importantly, they've also censored, they've become a law unto themselves. They've taken a position above the people that we pay and we vote for to be the ones in power. They've put themselves above that. In the sense of they're also censoring anything to do with ivermectin. And I hate to go over this, but I'm gonna. Because right now, yeah, they're going on in the UK about cases. Listen, they are fucking testing people twice as many times as they were testing people before, because they're saying they're testing people 2-3 times a week. Get tested as many times as you want. And there's people that are fucking scared shitless because they've made them scared shitless. So they are going for that. They're going to get tested 2-3 every time they leave the fucking house. Of course the cases are going to be more, but the deaths aren't. They're using the cases as a fucking stick to whip everyone with. And, you know, a few months ago, it was the death rate that they were using as a stick to whip everyone with. But now they can't do that because the death rate has gone to 0. So now they're using the case rate. And the case rate is obviously higher than it was before, because they've insisted on doubling, tripling, quadrupling the testing. And here's the thing, if the tests are more positive, guess what? That means that we've already reached herd immunity. Because if the cases are quadrupling and there's no deaths, that means that we've reached herd immunity already. Immunology 101. Seriously. So if the people that want to go get vaccinated or have been vaccinated, high five, good for you. That's your choice. And the people that haven't been vaccinated, that don't want to get vaccinated, and they've done their research and they have their personal reasons as to why, us lot, you know what? We're going to have natural immunity, because 99.9999999% of us recover, and the rest of us are going to have natural immunity. Natural immunity. Because you know what? When you realize that your body is a gift from God and that you have complete control over this, over your health and your wealth and everything, You don't need anything else. You literally need nothing else. You could strip it back to nothing. Take everything away, because none of it means a fucking thing. If you ain't got this right and you ain't got this right, don't matter. Because our bodies, these vessels that carry our minds, bodies, and spirits, our hearts and souls, sorry, these vessels are healing machines if we treat them with fucking respect. If we treat them with the respect that they deserve, they will treat us back the same way. And it is as simple as that. That is what they've been doing for thousands of years already. That's why we have got this far. We've got this far without any of this poison. So you don't need it. What you need to do is go, oh, hold on a minute. I need to look at my life, because most people that and this is said with all respect, because it is hard to leave somebody. I know, because I've already lost three. But most people that have passed away have already had an underlying comorbidity, morbidity, you know what I'm saying. So the people that have suffered, that have been completely healthy, is minimal, right? And really what this should be, this whole thing, this whole year, this whole time, right up to now, should be like a defibrillator against our fucking hearts, against our souls, against our minds. Like, wake the fuck up. Wake up. Yeah? We cannot carry on the way that we have been in every fucking respect. In every respect. In the way that we treat us, treat ourselves, in the way that we treat each other, in the way that we treat the planet, in the way we treat animals, in the way that we treat our children, business, everything. It's like this. And if you don't feel it, then there's something wrong with you. Isn't it? Right? We don't need, do you know what? All we need is love. Like, truly. If you feel that, as I said to you right at the beginning, if you feel that love, if you feel it, and that's why I want to send it out to everyone, everywhere. I want you to feel that you're loved, like, because it is the lack of that impacts us at whatever point in time in our lives, that then fundamentally changes us and makes us react in ways that are harmful to not just us but other people. And if we can all feel that love, feel the love that is there for each and every one of us, if we choose to hear it and feel it, and then not only choose to hear it and feel it from above, but for each other, and just recognize that what a magical place this is. What a magical place this is. What a magical thing it is to have this body that works like this. All of these cells, all talking to each other, all at the same time in a perfect harmony. To be here right now, to have the opportunity to be here right now, to have the opportunity to be the generations of people that make this change for the better, for humanity, for every generation to come. What a time to be alive. What a time. Like, it's magic. It's magic. It feels like magic. And with how everyone is stepping up and everyone is speaking out and everyone is finding their strength and everyone is awakening and everyone is inspiring each other. There has never been a better time to be alive. There has never been. It may be hard. Yeah, it may be hard. But it will be worth it. It will be. It will be worth it. So, I love you. And stay strong. Oh, do you know what? Sorry, side note. I meant the reason, you know, I've got a load more things that I haven't even covered. I'll just do them tomorrow. But I just have to say this. You know, I just really understand why people wear burqas. Now, this is gonna just go with me. I was thinking about this earlier because and hijabs, right? And why people shave, you know, is it when you're on Orthodox Jew, you shave? I'm sure it's you shave the ladies shave their heads and then they wear wigs. And do you know what? It just suddenly clicked in for me today. Why that makes complete sense. Because none of this should matter. And you know, like hijab, you only see the eyes. But the eyes are the window to the soul. Are they not? You can't disagree. The eyes are the window to the soul. And we should not judge each other on our physical appearance, but what is in here. So they've got it right, haven't they? It makes sense to me. So RESPECT, fam. And we should be allowed to express ourselves in whatever way we want. And wearing a hijab or a burqa or whatever ceremonial, traditional, cultural dress you want to wear, you should be able to wear that 24/7. Love that. Be that. We should never forget. Never. Shouldn't be just a one day a year thing. It should be whenever you want to wear it. Whenever you want to wear it. Whenever you want to express that. You know, I've just got something just clicked for me. I just went, you know what? I totally get that now. Like, that's why they only have their eyes, because the eyes are the window to the soul. You don't need to see nothing else, because you shouldn't be judging on the appearance. Should you? Should we? We shouldn't. It should be on who that person is, what their soul is. And that is why that makes sense. You don't need to see anything else, because when you see their soul, you will know them. So, love. Nothing but love. Nothing but love for you. Yeah, so I have pages of notes. They can last till tomorrow. I've ranted on enough. But I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. So, whatever you're doing, wherever you are, enjoy the rest of your evening, morning, or afternoon.